Welcome everybody to Darko episode 5, last episode of this year of 2020. And I'm happy to host my first lady in the podcast. Today we'll be talking about all kinds of culture interpretation with my guest LANA PAJDAŠ. LANA, welcome and thank you for your time for being on my podcast. Now, a little bit about LANA, as you can see in my trailer that I did for this podcast, is LANA is a culture interpreter, illustrator, writer, blogger, public speaker. She's very experienced in social media marketing for tourism and interdisciplinary projects. I met LANA actually, I believe it was 5 years ago, when I was working in a museum, and she started. You are already blogging about museums, about fun museums, about good things that the museums do, and then she said, can I speak to the marketing manager because she really liked the museum? Can she come visit? She did visit. I give her the bad tour because I didn't know at that moment a lot about museums and about Vučedol culture. But she did. You did 3 blogs, I believe. Was it 3 blogs about Vučedol? I believe you did.
I actually wrote more. I wrote like 6 articles about 6 topics, and plus some compilation of that.
Right. I know it was a lot of great material.
Yeah, but then.
What?
Back then, I mean.
Back then,
yeah. In 2006.
And so we know each other for 5 years now, let's say like that. I keep following her work. She keep following mine. She just did a little bit remodeling of her webpage, funmuseums.eu. As I read it, you did have it before as well, but as I read it, the webpage is so rich with content. I spend a lot of time on online, but it's not that many websites that go into specific topics like this, like that deep as you do. Like really, your content, even the blog that you just put up now, is really, really good. And I'm not saying this because you are my host right now, because you're in the blog. It's really, really good. So for everybody who's interested in fun museums and traveling and blogging, check out funmuseums.eu. So let me ask you a few questions. What made you study communication and heritage and culture? Because, it's not a topic that, it's not a, how would I say, modern or, everybody want to be in economy or marketing or, all these digital things. But you choose a specific from the beginning, communication, heritage, and culture.
First of all, people want things to be clear. Usually, they want to have a profession. And basically having a profession is good, but sometimes it's just if things are too clear, it's like reinventing the wheel. We are constantly talking the same things, and it's fine if you are doing something that needs to be done, like some work that is essential for the functioning of the society or so. But if it comes to when it comes to creative fields, it's simply counterproductive to reinvent the wheel. Yes. And that being said, people become curators or museum professionals or artists, and they usually go through the same career patterns. They finish schools that are necessary for that, either academy or faculty of humanities. They get master's degrees, PhDs, and so it's fine. They become experts, but for me, it was, I simply wasn't seeing myself doing so much sacrifice for something that maybe I wouldn't be able to really find my own way into that academic or traditional field. On the other hand, my parents were also in a creative field. So I was understanding, I was since little understanding what it means to do something new and different. My parents have a marketing agency, and they were, of course, focused on what was needed of marketing, but above all, their specialty was all about visual identities, design, about not only logo, but all the application of that. So how should all kind of materials that the client needs be applied throughout the whole, well, if, for example, they worked for many hotels in Croatia. And for example, hotel needs to have a menu in the bar and restaurant, or a guest directory, a guest book, or how it's called exactly. I can't remember now. Well, that book that you open when you enter the hotel room. They needed to make it all in the same identity, so that the guest has a particular experience throughout that. And yeah, basically, that is how I understood what creative work is actually.
Are they still active, the marketing agency?
Yes, and I work with them. Most of the things. I also work some things independently, but yeah, I still work with them in slightly different fields. But yeah, that's
what's the name of the agency?
The original agency is named McCall. And currently I have with my mother another firm. Which is called differently, but we are not really known for the company's name. I usually say that my business is at the moment, since I started this seriously and professionally, this platform project, it's Fun Museums.
Fun Museums, okay. So what inspired you to start writing your blog? Fun Museums. How did I started doing my blog because my webpage, my blog, personal blog, because there are so many things that I wish that somebody had told me before, starting a business or being in a business. And I pretty much like to talk about marketing, about sales, about new technologies, about entrepreneurship as such. And just one day it clicked me, I should have my own website. I've been doing websites. I never, did my own. And now, when the Corona started and I had to work from home, I actually said, I'm going to just start doing it. So that was my short version of how I started blogging. You've been in the field for how long? How long do you have a blog? More than 5 years, right?
If in general, if we talk about Fun Museums, I started the domain Fun Museums in early 2015, which means 6 years ago almost. But when it comes to blogging in general, I started the very first blog in the times when it became the thing, actually. So it was back in 2005, when I was only 16 years of age. So basically, I opened a blog on a page, blog.hr, blog hire, which offered the possibility to open. It was very simple and very, like, for today's standard, very like primitive, but it was cool because it was the first time, even social media were not yet the thing. Like Facebook didn't exist yet in any kind of public extent, and it was the first time we actually published something. We community of bloggers, right. We published something online, and yeah, it was sort of exciting. And I love to travel with my family. Like, I traveled with my family, I love doing it, and I was writing some travel stories. Well, it's pity that I deleted it because it was teenage, and I was a bit ashamed later of things I wrote. But it wasn't bad, actually. Now, today when I remember that, I still remember what kind of they wrote. It was not bad. I was writing.
You have to start somewhere. Actually, one of my favorite author is actually Seth Godin. Have you heard about him? Seth Godin. So this is his book that I printed out. This is marketing. So he basically says everybody, the problem with the blogging and the problem about writing things. He said the biggest problem is people always trying to get it perfect at the beginning. And then he said he has the most visited blog ever. He just goes sethgodin.blog, and he said he'd been writing one blog a day for 10 years straight. never missed a day without writing blog, writing something.
Wow.
And then he said, when actually probably going to get involved in one of his academies, and he said, show me your bad writing. You need to have a decent amount of bad writing until you start doing some good writing. So your writing right now is great on your webpage. It's you had to start somewhere. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like right now, I've had my blog for like 6 months now. And it's actually in a year or 2 or 5, or God knows how long I'm gonna have it. It's gonna be fun to come back, revisit, and see my first blog, my first whatever. So that's actually. But your way actually just everything fits together. You enjoy traveling. You just start writing the travel blog in a way. So that's really nice. Technology and your passion together. That's great. That's great. So can you tell me more about the art of discovery, the idea on your...
So that's a quite new thing. Kind of some glances of it started before Corona, actually, last year. I was traveling a lot because I was involved in quite a big project that wasn't mine, but yeah, I was a part of it. And I was doing workshops and public speaking about some particular topic. It's related to my region, to a heritage of my region, Putovima Frankopana, the roots of the Frankopans, cultural root. And I was mostly speaking about the idea that people should, in order to discover that whole thing, people should come to my region for some days and go discovering.
Right.
And then I realized that that people travel too fast in general, and they want to see things that are as we say, like important or must visit, or
right,
yeah, whatever they call it, like that is on the bucket list. And it's just, yeah, check the bucket list and go from one place to another. And yeah, the way the travel used to be before Corona was that it was accessible, it was even affordable. Thanks to low budget airlines, Airbnbs, it was possible to visit like every capital in Europe. Well, I visited almost every European country thanks to these things. So
right.
it's not really that I'm not a part of it, but it became too fast and just frenetic. And then I realized that if someone really wants to understand some cultural story,
right,
they need to just stay and look at it and relax. And the art of discovery happened along with my development as an illustration artist, as I started drawing places. I started doing it more intensely when last year when I visited Greece for the first time. Well, it was for private reason that I started going to Greece, but it was very important because I finally saw Acropolis and Parthenon, and this uncovering Parthenon, and I saying it was my sketch travel. And eventually it turned out during Corona times when I realized that travel will probably not be the same after it all.
Right.
It's all over somehow. That art of discovery will be quite a beautiful way to restart traveling. And well, of course, this year I also went to Greece again, and I spent there 1 month. That idea got simply some form, some shape, and eventually I decided to include all the things: information, storytelling, sketches, photography, just to make it full, make it, as they say, holistic. Right. Holistic is actually a word of Greek origin. It's related to the English word the whole, like something that is full, that is entire. Many people think that it comes from holy, that it's some spiritual thing. It's not. No, it's just the way it's like everything in a full.
Everything. I like that. I didn't know that. So what's the most that you like about Greece? Did you end up loving it?
Greece is it's a unique country because of that whole history that is assigned to Greece. Basically, their language, which is the real successor of ancient Greek. Well, it's different than ancient Greek, the Greek that is spoken today, but it's different. but the writing is the same, and many words are those that we recognize for being words of Greek origin. They are used in modern Greek, and their meanings are way more simple than we think. So it's quite cool. And yeah, Greece is extremely beautiful, and it's just like a 3 times bigger version of Croatia in a way, in terms of coastline and islands and beaches, right. And that's whole thing. Croatia has an extremely beautiful coast and islands, but Greece is just like 3 times bigger Croatia.
Right. I never been to Greece, unfortunately. I did travel, you know, I was in the United States. I was there and I did travel somewhere across Europe, but I never went to Greece. And I really wanted to go visit Greece and Spain, hopefully I will one of these days when all this madness ends. So let me ask you, how can people join more into culture, and what are some ways to interpret it? I mean, when we're talking about the interpretation, one other thing that I want to say about your webpage, it's really content diverse, and that's also what I'm trying to do in my post. I'm trying to, you know, since I opened my webpage, I do, you know, this podcast. So that's one form. I do graphic design. I do videos. I do, you know, questionnaires and things like that. I try to be more diverse, you know, not just a video, not just a text. And you do quite diverse content on your page. So let me tell me more about that, how people can join more into the culture, and what would be some ways to interpret it.
Well, yeah, there are many possibilities. The most important thing is to be curious, to be open to learn new things, but not learn in a way that we perceive it traditionally, that you need to learn it as it was school, right. Or that you need to be an expert. Just to get some information about it, and just make sure that it's accurate. Just to sort of always test your mind for biases and for misconceptions, because yeah, there are many, obviously, and there are many half information across the web, as we all know. So right. It's important to be critical about things you find, especially online. And when it comes to blogs, it's always important to check the about page, to actually notice who is the person who wrote it. Many people have blogs, and many people write about stuff related to culture. It's just important to see what values and intentions of that person. And as for starting actually with that, cultural interpretation happens in many kind of ways. It's obviously when we hear the word heritage interpretation, it relates to professional activities relating to museum equipments or interpretation centers. So that, for example, mostly museums or curators or some consultants who are specialized for that, they make label boards that explain some topic, that can include some photo, they can plan where they place it inside a room or something like that, and they plan some kind of marketing strategy for that, digital marketing included. And so, but it usually only focuses on one topic, a topic that a museum has. For example, if you know, for example, Vučedol culture, we can say a lot about Vučedol culture. But the best thing is if we can connect it with other topics that are relevant to Vučedol culture. For example, the simple fact that it's pretty known that some things from Vučedol inspired ancient Greece. For example, when I wrote about the Sami culture in Lapland, in the north of Scandinavia, it's pretty clear that they were there since 1,000 years ago, way more than Vučedol. There are very little evidences, but yeah, it's clear. So making this kind of comparisons beyond what is one particular topic is the best thing.
Right. To go deep into the subject and to expand. Yes. I'm also in that way of thinking. It's just how would I say, the people who are not in marketing and are not as creative as we are, they don't understand that part. They pretty much, how would I say, they don't want to experiment with culture. You know, they pretty much want to stick to the facts and don't move or look for something new. I noticed that in some other museums that I've been involved with, and in the culture overall, just like you said at the beginning, everybody's reinventing the wheel pretty much. You know, everybody's the same topic over and over again, and then they just pretty much recycle it. But there's no expansion of material, and you know, the culture, any culture, I think is fascinating if you just like you said, not just if you learn about the culture, but everything that came from that culture, right? So that's like I said, that's why your blog is, it's really nice. Even your last blog that you just put, you connected 3 or 4 topics regarding to the calendar right now that you put. So that's really interesting. So let me ask you, how important do you think the storytelling is in culture?
It's very important, as long as it is storytelling in terms of story that is really, really designed for audiences, without assumptions that people know about something. That's the most crucial thing, because you will hear the word storytelling already for years from a marketing professional, after all, and marketing professionals who are not related to museums, but different fields. And even from museum professionals, you will hear about storytelling, and they are all aware that it's important. It's not something that I have to say that it's important, but the thing is, very often, as I think I said it before, that many curators assume that that people will already know, or they will think if people don't know, if they heard the feedback that people didn't know, didn't understand, they will say, oh, they just don't have enough level of education.
Right.
But it's not always fair to say. And also if people heard the different kind of things, this thing about saying happy holidays is quite an important socially engaging storytelling, because well, you know, you have been in USA, you know how some people there don't like happy holidays. They think, well, before it was just Merry Christmas,
right.
Or well, even in Croatia they would say, why Sretni blagdani, why not just Sretan Božić?
Right.
Well, it's because it's simply an inclusive approach, and that's the museum's responsibility. Yeah, first of all, it was always, since the earliest civilizations, there have always been some kind of winter holidays, or Easter holidays, or holidays that relate to that time of the year, just like in Vučedol there were. And second, we shouldn't assume that people share our same heritage.
Right.
If it's religion, for example, okay, if I have one religion, I shouldn't assume that you have the same that I have. Like
right.
Even if it's the case, just.
Right. But what I'm saying about storytelling, I understand where you're coming from, and I do try to be, as much as I can, educate myself about storytelling. And even though, just like you said, even though they just say, I don't have to say that the storytelling culture is important, not that many museums know how to tell their story. Just like I said, they keep saying or promoting the same, I will not say boring facts, but just saying facts without make a story out of it,
Yes.
If you find some item, let's say we find this item, this is whatever. We find this item, and the people say, oh my God, this item, it's dig in some year in the grave, this and this and this and that. And I said, don't say it like that. Say, do you realize that you're holding a part of a history in your hand? You're holding something that is, 5, 6, 7, 10,000 year old. This is part of the history. And there's a thing about storytelling. You have to make it a story. And the story has, the beginning, something good or bad happened, and then the end. It has to be presented like that. But most museums and most cultural institutions that I've been involved with, they all really want to be, stick to the facts without expanding the overall knowledge, or to actually put in some effort to tell a story. You know Professor Durman, right? Professor Durman, the one that's actually, I will not say discovered Vučedol, but he's the one that's been dealing with Vučedol culture for 37 years now. And a few times that he was in the museum that I actually listened to his tour, the way that he tells it, but it's spontaneous to him. But the way that he incorporates Vučedol culture with Greek culture, with Roman culture, with constellations, I mean, it's Hollywood movie to listen to him. It's just amazing. And I always want to say, Professor, can I please record you? Can I please make a video? He never has time, but I'm going to do that eventually. But he knows, he understands that just saying the facts, you know, this is found in this year, this is found in that year, it's too dry of a subject, you know. But you can make it so it can be such a nice subject, you know. Any culture can do that. But it just needs some effort and creativity. So what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say, what do I think?
What I want to say, since you've been around museums and traveling a lot, what do you think? Do you think that museums should do more of?
Definitely.
But what do you think that overall museums should do more? Is it more storytelling? Is it more marketing? Is it more being more approachable, more open to people? What do you think? There are like one or two things that they should do more in this age.
Well, in general, to be more relevant and to actually gain more coverage around social media, around media and audiences, I will quote again that Professor Alexandra Vunia and another Greek lady who is Maria Vlahu. She is based in Portugal, actually, so she is in different countries. They often talk about museums actually going beyond their walls and going out of the box. Right. Which means that they don't just, because yeah, it's fine to tell stories about the objects the way you say, it's great. It's already a great step. But even that will not always make all the audiences feel comfortable, because yeah, we are all surrounded by diversity, and that diversity thing, of course, it the way we hear about it in the media is not always the most the best we can have about diversity. There are all kind of ways people think about that word. But in general, to open their mind for more different perspectives and to tell them, just so that different kind of people can feel more welcome and more included in museums.
Right.
That's what museums could do, and from there they could tell even more and more stories.
That's true. That's true. Like I see museums that have, or for that matter, cultural institutions, you know, the galleries or some kind of, I will say, maybe not institutions, but, you know, interpretation centers. Right now, they're popular here in Croatia. Mm-hmm. You know, you go in there and it's not a place I will return to, you know. It doesn't, you just go there, they give you a brochure, okay, look around, you just look around and be like, okay, so now what? There's no, but just that, people don't understand that people are looking for experience, you know, not just, you know, go to this room, you will see something, whatever. But when you tell them a story behind it, then you give them, you know, some kind of experience, you know, therefore they feel, just like you said before, more whole, more fulfilled, more knowledgeable, you know, when they leave. Not just when they enter the museum, just like be like, you know, okay, go through it. You have 15 rooms, 10 rooms, 4 rooms, whatever, you know. I try when I do my tours in the museum, or when I have some visitors, I really try to give them some kind of experience, and I really hope when they go out of the museum that they, you know, learn something, and that they tell that to their friends, not just because, you know, for marketing and profit or whatever, but I really want them to realize how big of a story it is behind any kind of museum. That's what we do in the Vučedol Culture Museum. And I've been to some other museums. I didn't get, or some other cultural institution. I didn't get the feeling that people are trying to give people experience. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's more like go in, go out. You know, if you like it, it's okay. If you don't like it, it's okay. But there's not that many. It should be more of passion in people who work in a museum. You know, I understand if you're not creative, but you can at least, you know, how would I say, smile or greet them or tell a joke or something. The best thing for me is when I'm doing the tours and the people actually come from the United States, you know, and then they got me talking English to them, and especially if they're like from Chicago when I used to, you know, play basketball, and then when I give them some, you know, inside joke about Chicago Bulls or whatever, and they're, oh my God, who is this guy? You know, they really, I see that how excited they are. They're really happy, you know, and then they're not afraid to ask questions. They want to joke, and so the whole tour just receives some kind of different dynamics in it. It's more personal, you know, more personal. They enjoy it much. That's I take really big pride in my tours when I give tours.
Yes, definitely.
Next time you come visit us at the Vučedol Museum, I give you an even better tour than the first time.
Great. I'm very looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to you to arrive. So tell me, I like to let people know the people that I'm talking to. So this segment of a podcast, I like to call 8 Questions at 8. So tell me, who is your favorite writer? Do you have a favorite writer?
My favorite writer, I was thinking about it. I think it's José Saramago from Portugal, the Nobel Prize winner.
Nice.
Although there are many, but let's say that he is the one who I especially like and appreciate.
Right. Mine is Seth Godin. This guy, when he talks about marketing, he just writes in such a simple way that it's really easy to follow and understand. You know, most of these people who, you know, he will be like a marketing guru, but because he's so simple, it's easy to follow. And then I see all these people that are trying to be like him, and they're using all these big words, trying to be super smart. And he's the one that they follow, and he writes so fluently. You know, it's so simple. That's why I like Seth Godin. Seth Godin is my favorite. So who will be your favorite?
Say.
I said, who would be your favorite artist? Since you're in art.
That's a very difficult one. I can say that Rembrandt, the Dutch painter, who it was just because it was my first big experience in professional one, as I was doing guided tours in Museum of Arts and Crafts MUO in Zagreb when I was studying there, and I remember it for how I needed to. Me as an introvert and a little bit shy girl, I challenged myself to get used to talking in front of the audience of visitors. Many of them being high school students. So
usually when I do tours, it's funny because I'm 6'8" or 2 meters for those who don't know that, and then all these kids, high school kids, come to me and they want to take a picture with me. They measure themselves to me. It's just funny. And the girls like trying to get pictures. It's funny. So you travel a lot. Tell me, what is your favorite means of transportation? Do you like to travel by boat, by car, by bus, by plane? What would be your favorite?
I like trains very much.
Trains. When I was in the States, they had their entire infrastructure is called Amtrak, which would be America on track. And I've been traveling in various different transportation, but that was just great. Like they have this big, how would I call it? Not sofa, what's it called? The big, like this, but for the living room. What's it called? They actually call their the what?
Armchair, like armchair.
Right, armchair. They actually call lazy boy in the States because you can, you have that handle and you put it and you put your leg, you can like really stretch. And then when you travel like that, and like you can really, really rest. Like I've been traveling from Iowa to Chicago a few times, and that ride is like 3 or 4 hour long. I mean, you sit in that lazy chair, you can just fall asleep like this, and it's a great means of transportation. Here in Croatia, not that good. I mean, it's kind of old ways to me, but that one in the States, like you can see now, even 10 years after I did that, I still talk about it. It was a great train. That kind of train, I really enjoyed that ride. So tell me, what would be what was or who is the biggest inspiration in your life? Do you have something?
It's changed very much from time to time. That thing. So it's like, yeah, I was thinking about it, and well, first it was my parents, obviously, but then I can also say that there are other sources of inspiration, depending on what we talk about. It's just a tough one. Yeah, every time I speech or a webinar, I take something good from that. So it is a little bit, don't have any in particular, many of them.
Okay, that's a good question as well, answer as well. I had one man that was big inspiration for me. Parents should be number one, and they are number one. But in life you meet so many people, and some of them are just inspire you to be better. And I met this one man when I was working for this company, Borovo. His name is Josip Kovac. In my driven videos and in some of my blogs, I mentioned him. He was just an inspiration. He was a great guy, really knowledgeable, a gentleman in every kind of sense. And he really put work ethics in me, for sure. Work ethics, and teach me a lot about how to talk to people, approach to people, how to look at the problems in a different way. So it was really an inspiration for me. Like I never, I like, Michael Jordan or whatever, Tony Kukoc, whoever of these basketball guys, but they were never inspiration to me in such a way that I would consider them, oh my God, he's an inspiration. I consider them, they're great in their craft. They're great basketball players. I wish I can dunk like them or whatever, jump like them or something, but not in that sense, this guy is really like, I really want to, how would I say, it's funny, like, I never thought, I wish I could be in the same room with Michael Jordan. Like, that was never an idea to me. But with this guy, there's inspiration. Like, every day that I was going to work, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be 8 hours with that man in the room. And it was just wow. A blessing for me. One of the days, I'm probably going to do a little bigger of a video about our relationship and how that changed me in a way. Okay, let me show you something. This that I have next to my bed, this is his letter of recommendation for me that he wrote in 2019. Yes, he come to me. He said, "What are you doing in this company?" Like, what do you mean? What I'm doing? I'm in marketing. He said, but this is not for you. I said, like, I really thought like he's gonna, I'm gonna get fired or whatever. He said, this is not for you. You have grown, outside of this company. You need to expand. You need to find some other job and things like that. And he said, he actually said this. He said, can I write a letter of recommendation for you?
Wow.
Your idol says, can I write a record recommendation for you? It's right here and it's framed. And it's right
that is the point of inspiring figure, I think. I will probably be able to answer your question beyond saying my parents. Basically, when I get such a response from someone that I appreciate very much, it just hasn't happened just yet. Like I can say that it's figuring inspiration, someone who I only read books or listen to music or
right.
Or sports person. Well, I'm not from sports, but I like to watch some sports, and I consider I have my faves in some of them that I like to see. But of course, these are just some people from the screen. So.
Right. People from the screen. Tell me, how many languages do you speak?
Okay. Other than my native Croatian, Hrvatski, and English language,
right.
I also know fluently Portuguese and a little bit of Italian and a little bit of Greek, basically, so that I can say, other than govorim hrvatski, I can say falo português, I can say parlo italiano un po', I can say borona milao ligo ili nika.
That's in Portuguese. I can speak Croatian, English, Italian, and German. And Croatian and English good. Italian also above average, I will say. And German good. Like I can have the this regular type of conversation, not the business kind. And it's what's interesting about Italian. I can speak it really well, but I could not write an email. Like I don't know how to write. I can speak it.
Me too, actually.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did learn. I know something, but it's not even not worth mentioning. But I can speak Italian pretty good. But it's so funny. The other day, actually, when I browse to a TV, I like to look at some of their movies or whatever. And then I watch a movie without the titles, and I can understand it all, and I can say back. But I cannot write. It's just crazy how the mind works. The brain.
Yes. Same for me for Italian. I'm not really good at grammar. I don't know I should really focus, as I never learned Italian like at school. I just know it from experience.
Right.
I know many words. I understand basically everything they say. Just speaking, I can have a small talk. But having a proper level, I don't have it,
Right.
Basically.
So where do you plan to travel next when all this is, do you have plans of traveling somewhere special?
It will be, I simply know it will be Greece, and it will also be a particular part of Italy called Alto Adige, Sud Tirol. These are the private reasons I have to go to these places. Other than that, I'm not sure really. Don't know. Serbia, probably Belgrade also.
Okay. So let me ask you, what do you enjoy more, writing or drawing? Like
drawing.
What?
Drawing.
Oh, what's the image behind you? What's that represent? Is that a museum?
That is the building of the numismatic museum in Athens.
In Athens. Okay. Did you draw?
Yes, I did.
No, you have a very unique style. Like you have those kind of like very precise drawing, and then the ones that I saw on the blog here, the one that you this one seeing
the Aurora.
Yeah, this is
obviously that one is aquarelle, like watercolor painting. So it's quite a different technique. This one on the wall, it's just a basic pen, like with a little bit softer head.
What's your favorite technique to use?
I like pen, like with soft head, like the one that can be a little bit thinner or thicker. The way I control that head. I like drawing with that kind. It works for many things, from precise things such as buildings to, for example, making drawings of animals. So I like it very much, and I also like watercolor very much.
Okay, okay. So let me ask you at the end just one more question. How can people reach you? How can people reach you? Somebody who's interested in culture interpretation, who would like to maybe do some project with you, how can they reach you best? Is it through your
my email address, which is available across my blog. So it's like the easiest way probably, because I'm constantly on that and I'm responding. And also, well, if you prefer social media, I'm on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. So you can reach me. I'm on Twitter, on personal Twitter. I'm quite active with all kind of opinions, with daily thoughts. So it's not only about blog or about some well-prepared things.
Right.
So
good.
Chat.
Okay, so your blog, funmuseums.eu, as well as a Twitter. Lana, thank you for your time. And as usual, this podcast will be on my webpage, darkobilandžić.com, and on my social media on Facebook and on YouTube as well. You've been the first lady in my podcast, hopefully one of the many. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your information about the blog, the travel, but all. And this, as I said, this will be the last. This is the fifth episode, the last one for this 2020. And I'll see you next for the episode 6 in 2021. And Lana, I hope to see you very soon in Wuchedol.
I hope to see you soon there too.
Okay. Just 1 second.